11th of September 2021. I'm Maurice Kirk. I'm in Taunton, Centre de l'Univers, and I have got my South Wales Police damages claim tomorrow, which is one of my actions, 1CF 03361, where the Chief Constable back in 2009 signed a fabricated affidavit that disclosure had been made in my BS 614159 claim, that covering damages claim for over 40 lost malicious prosecutions brought by the Chief Constable, Barbara Wilding. Well, she was made to sign an affidavit by the retiring judge, His Honour Nicholas Chambers QC, and Dolman's solicitors falsified by the aid of Adrian Oliver, the senior officer in the law courts of the law officer for the private firm of Dolman's, and he was tasked to fabricate an affidavit denying incidents on the road, incidents in court, etc., ever existed. One particular comical one was when I arrested the prosecutor Suffer for falsifying evidence in front of their worships in Barry Magistrates. I was accused of speeding, and I arrested him and took him off the ground. He was a little man, and he dropped his CPS file, and the roadside camera photo flipped to the floor and exposed the name of the real driver of one of my cars, which they knew about because I'd already given them that information. But an inspector, Andrew Rice, very much in the middle of this 30 years of criminal conspiracy, gave evidence on oath not long ago that he was not there. Well, even the judge in the civil claim said that, well, Mr. Kirk seems to have written your collar number along with all the other numbers on the court papers while you were in to arrest him. But that's another story. Tomorrow, I've had to write a letter to a lawyer asking him to make applications for obvious disclosure. For example, Operation Orchid, 1 June sunny afternoon with the gun dogs running around at my feet. The police helicopter came over the roof at less than 100 feet, and at least 20 police officers were counted coming out of the woods and across the road, and police cars crashing their gears, coming up and lining up outside our front gate. The purpose was to shoot me because it has been disclosed in MAPA records and by a third party, not under their control. And they came to snatch our then 10-year-old daughter Genevieve on the excuse that I was so dangerous because a corrupt forensic psychiatrist called, I'm not allowed to say his name, Dr. T somebody or other, who was then sacked from the NHS and banished to New Zealand, I understand. But that doesn't help me. He had written on the 19th of November, a more detailed account that I should be locked away in Ashworth for life because I had significant irreversible brain damage. Amongst the papers, it said that it was brought on by being a long-term drinking partner of actor Oliver Reed. Well, that's the amusing side of the story. But tomorrow, the current learned judge is being persuaded by the QC for the police, defending my action against them, not to allow any more witnesses. Well, of course, the key witness, Brown, was one of the ones that took this alleged firearm from the English police, who said it was a load of scrap iron, and quickly took it to Chepstow secretly, FSS, that's Forensic Science Services, where by the time it came to court, as Mr. Ridyard, the gun expert, said in court yesterday, when he saw it, it was painted silver. But in court, it was painted back black to the colour that I had it before I'd sold it to Mr. Cooper, attached to my biplane that I flew at Farnborough Air Show. The level of deceit that is coming out in this case, and the level of deceit of those who should be publishing, causing outside police inquiry as to onto the level of deceit, extreme criminal conduct by senior police officers, not just once, not twice, but for 30 years, all involving me.